Last week, I reviewed Drag X Drive on the Nintendo Switch 2, and I was not kind to it. It has a lot of issues, but regardless of that fact, and regardless of the fact that I recommended probably waiting for a sale to buy this game, I've kept playing Drag X Drive. And the reason for that is I think this game is fun and it has a lot of potential, but it just has so many issues at the moment. One of which I even found during recording more games for this video, where literally we got into a match and the ball just spawned on the other court and we just all had to sit there and watch for 3 minutes until the game was over. It was very, very odd. And I know this video probably won't do as well as some of my other videos, but I genuinely think this game has so much potential and can be a lot of fun. So I have 6 ways that we are going to try and fix Drag X Drive today. Let me know in the comments below if you're enjoying Drag X Drive, but let's get into it. So first and foremost, my biggest gripe with Drag X Drive is there is no freaking matchmaking in this game. Why? I don't really know. I don't really know why any game that is online multiplayer would not have a true matchmaking system. It just doesn't make any sense. So currently, what you do is you join an online park and you can opt in to always be searching for a match or only be added to a match when needed. And then you can also opt in and out of mini games. Basically, you're sitting there waiting for your turn. You're sitting to be selected to play the next game. Now, I personally have turned all my settings off. I'm literally only searching for games. But if there's a mini game or something else that's taking place with all the other players in the court, you just have to sit and wait for their mini game to be over to actually continue playing the game. Just not a really good system. So genuinely, what I think would be the best way to fix this problem would be to implement a matchmaking system much like Rocket League, where you can queue up for a match and then enter a free play park to drive around and practice while you wait to get queued in that match. This would just feel so much better. And why would it feel better? Because you are guaranteed to play in that next match. With the current system, you could be sitting there waiting for the next match to start and just not be selected and have to continue sitting there and waiting. At least if there was an official matchmaking system, even if it took 40 seconds to a minute, you would still be guaranteed that next slot rather than sitting for minute to 2 minutes to 3 minutes and then not getting selected. It would just feel so much better. The next thing that I would suggest is changing the controls just a hair. Now, I say just a hair because I genuinely really like the controls in this game. They definitely have a learning curve to them, but once you start figuring them out, you can start doing some really cool stuff in this game, and it's a lot of fun. And genuinely, the way this game plays is so innovative and creative and different from anything else on the market that I wouldn't want them to change anything too drastically here. This really is what makes this game cool. However, it can be fine-tuned because one of the big issues currently is that this game kind of requires you to have a large space to play this game to really get going, because to move faster in this game, you got to do big strokes with your controllers. You got to do really big motions with the controllers. However, if you have a small setup, you're playing at a desk, you're playing on your lap, you don't have a table that you can play at, it's kind of difficult to get up to speed in the way that this game requires of you. But I have a solution for this. So when you're holding the mouse Joy-Con, when you're holding this Joy-Con, you are like this, right? You have your hand like this. This thumb is totally free to do whatever you need to do with while you're playing. So why not just put a turbo mode on A? So rather than having to move like crazy to speed up, why don't they just put a turbo mode on A and you hold A, and then you could do the same smaller motions, but you move faster. That way you can toggle on and off how fast you're moving based on the situation you're in just by pressing the A button. And then you aren't required to have a bigger space to play this game. You can just play at your desk. You can play on your lap. You can play in these smaller locations and still be able to play the game effectively. I think this would be a really simple but really nice solution to the big problem of needing a lot of room to actually play Drag X Drive. Next up, I want to talk about incentivizing passing, because that's one of the biggest things is people just don't pass in this game. And that sucks in a game that is literally basketball and is team oriented. You need to pass the ball. Sometimes your teammates are just in better positions than you are. Passing them the ball is going to be able to get you in a better spot to shoot, score, whatever the case may be. It's just something that should be done, but just isn't done a whole lot in this game. And that's incredibly frustrating. Now, originally what I thought would be a good solution is kind of requiring a mandatory pass system, but after I thought about it a little bit more, I don't think this would actually work all that well in practice. I think this would end up being a little bit annoying. So The alternative that I came up with is actually just giving bonus points for passing the ball after you shoot. So, for example, let's say that you are going down the court and you pass the ball to your teammate, they pass again, and then you get passed one more time, then you make a 2-pointer, right? That would give you 2.6 points rather than just 2 points, because they incentivized you to pass the ball. They gave you a small incremental boost in the points you got by passing the ball. So you get a 2.6 points rather than just 2 points because you passed the ball 3 times. I think just adding little points like this would definitely incentivize people to pass the ball more frequently to win by those decimal point margins, right? I think that would just be a really smart way to incentivize that, because they already give you bonus points for tricks. Like if you do a dunk or you do like an up off the half pipe and then shoot the ball, you get points for that. You get extra points. They're small, they're incremental. I think doing the same thing with passing would really help this game. The fourth way that I'd try to fix this game is by adding customization options. The current customization system is lackluster, to put it lightly, with really the only things that you can change being the helmet, your body type, and the color of your character. There definitely needs to be some bigger, grander form of customization in this game to allow you to really express yourself in your character. This could be done in a number of different ways. Genuinely, I'm thinking of tons and tons of things that you could do to really make this game a lot cooler as far as customization goes. For example, adding cosmetic armor or clothing that you can add to your character, like a Santa hat or like a Christmas light necklace at Christmas time, or even like Nintendo IP clothing. Like, think how cool it would be if you could slap like a Donkey Kong tie on your Drag X Drive character, or add a tunic, a green tunic and a hat like Link. That would just be so cool. And the fact that there's not that kind of customization in this game, even stuff that's not Nintendo IP, like a Santa hat and some lights, that's just weird to me. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So I definitely think that down the line, adding stuff that you could customize not only your character but also your wheelchair with would be so cool. Like, imagine you have a Santa hat, you have a Santa necklace or something, like a wreath around your, or you could change your tires into a wreath. Like, there's so much that could be done to make this more fun and cool as far as customization goes, and adding like some level of like unlockability to them to make you work for them. That just incentivizes you to keep playing this game and unlock the stuff that you like. So I think adding additional customization options would definitely help liven this game up a bit. And that leads right into my next point, which is just add more courts to this game. There is literally one court type in this entire game, and I understand they're going for a street ball style game. I get that. I totally get that. However, you can play street ball in a city. You can play street ball at a beach. You can play street ball in a park. Like, there's 3 locations right there that could change up how this game looks and add a little more color and liveliness to this game. And then you can just cycle between those. I don't see why that would defeat the street ball element of this particular game. I get that's what they're going for, but we could definitely have basketball courts in a couple other locations that people play street ball at. So that's just my thought on that scenario. We can liven this up a little bit more. My 6th thing is something that I feel like a lot of people are probably going to not necessarily agree with, but I'm all on board for it, and that is a battle pass system. This game would benefit like crazy from a battle pass system. It could add challenges to complete and add additional rewards in the form of cosmetics and things of that nature. And I think that would be massive for this game, because currently, what are you playing for? Other than like the joy of winning, what are you playing for in this game? There's not really any unlockables outside of a couple helmets that you can get. So what is the end goal? What are you doing all of this for? A battle pass solves that problem. You're doing it to complete challenges to then unlock cosmetics in the battle pass. And this would also liven the game up. You could add themes for each battle pass. You could, oh, this is the Mario battle pass. This is the Halloween battle pass. This is the Christmas battle pass. You can do all of that stuff to unlock additional cosmetics and liven the game up, and that just adds more to the game. It adds more for you to do. It would give you something to keep playing and working toward, which the game kind of lacks at the moment. Unless you just are in love with the actual gameplay of this game, it doesn't really have a whole lot to do outside of just play the game. But if you add those cosmetics, you can be like, oh, I really like this particular item for my character. If I play and do this challenge, I unlock this, and then that gives me this in the battle pass. Like, that would give you a reason to continue coming back and playing this game. And it would also incentivize you to play more mini games. You could tie in certain challenges to completing mini games, like getting a certain time on a certain minigame would then give you X number of XP toward the battle pass, right? Like, this game would benefit like crazy from a battle pass, and it would allow you to change up the aesthetic of the game every time a battle pass comes out. Like I said, you add a new theme, changing up maybe decorations in the court, in the parks. Even if you don't add more parks, at least you could change the decorations. Like at Halloween, throw some jack-o'-lanterns out. At Christmas, throw some Christmas light. Like, there's a lot you could do by adding battle passes and themes to this particular game that I feel like it's just a no-brainer. And like, I personally, I'd pay $5 for a battle pass in this game. I'm having a good enough time with it that if they started doing things like this that I think would improve the game, I'd give them money for it. Like, that's kind of the crazy thing, is I'd give them more money to fix the problems with this game, like add a battle pass. So that's, like I said, I think this game is really fun. And that's why I think I get so kind of like out of sorts in these videos, is because I genuinely like this game. I think this game is fun, but I can't recommend it in the state that it's in. I can't. But if we fix some of these issues, I would tell people, yeah, this game's cool. Even if it's only, you know, $20, this game's cool. It's not something you want to play all the time necessarily, especially in the current state it's in, but to hop in and play some games, it is a good time. So and with the amount of potential the game has, that's what really gets me. This game literally is just full of potential. Like, I look at this and I go, man, this is just Rocket League waiting to happen. And the fact that we just didn't do anything, matchmaking, battle passes, themes, additional courts, any of this wasn't there initially, I just don't get it. I don't get it. Even if they just dropped a little teaser and been like, hey, here, this is coming later. This battle pass this season is coming in a month. This is just the opening section. I would have been totally cool with that. But, you know, so these are my ideas for how to fix this game and make it better, because again, I think it can be a really awesome game. It just needs some tweaks. So let me know your guys' thoughts. Did you agree or disagree with any of the things that I had to say regarding Drag X Drive? I really hope we see some of this stuff come in the future to this game, because again, I think it's cool. It just needs some tweaks. So that is going to be it. Again, leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, because it helps me out, helps the video out, and helps the channel out immensely. But until next time, peace.